Hey YouTube, how's everybody doing? My name is JC. This is the Cuban Redneck DIY channel where we do cooking and grilling on Tuesdays and DIY stuff on Fridays. I want to start by apologizing for not having a DIY video on Friday. I had to be out of town and I completely forgot to schedule the video I had ready for you guys, but don't worry, you'll have it on Friday. If this is your first time here, I want to give you a warm welcome. If you haven't done anything nice today, man, consider subscribing. You know, karma never forgets, so remember that. Today's video is about what I think is the most underrated Cuban sandwich out there, and that happens to be the Cuban Frita. Now, a lot of people get on my case when I give history and a long intro about a particular dish, but to be honest with you, some of these things need clarification, and the Cuban Frita is a perfect example of that. Let me tell you, there's people on YouTube creating ground beef and eggs and bread and milk and making patties and calling them fritas. I'm sorry, but that is a meatloaf. That's not a frita. So with that said, let's make ourselves a legitimate Cuban authentic frita. I wanted to make the Frita Cubana video as authentic as possible. That meant using the flat top on the grill, but the weather is not cooperating. Nevertheless, the result was pretty good. Not my best, but without a doubt pretty good. There are two parts to the Frita Cubana recipe, and they will be available on my website cubanredneck.com. The two parts are the cooking sauce and the patty. The sauce consists of water, vinegar, olive oil, tomato paste, brown sugar, black pepper, salt, oregano, cumin, paprika, and a little bit of Tabasco sauce, although that is optional and up to taste. For the Frita patty, we'll need ground beef, chorizo, onions, garlic, salt, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, cumin, black pepper, and paprika. There is no science to making a Cuban Frita sauce, and know that this is an excellent sauce for cooking ribs in the oven, if you make them in a pouch as I do. Mix all the ingredients in a small mixing bowl, pour it into some type of squeeze bottle, an old ketchup bottle will do, and as with any sauce, this would be much better if made the day before, but so far nothing is going according to plan. That's okay. With the Frita sauce out of the way, let's turn our focus on the patty. I'm going to start by chopping an onion with my hand blender attachment, and I'm going to do this in two sessions. In one, a fine cut, and in the second one, a little more coarse. Also know that I'm doing a whole onion, but only a half an onion is needed for 1 pound of meat, or about 6 Cuban Fritas. On the first session, the fine one, I'm also going to drop in the garlic. With that done, go ahead and drop that into a medium-sized mixing bowl along with the dry spices. For the chorizo, we need to remove the casing. And smashing them with the side of the blade normally does the trick as far as breaking them down. However, if you have access to some that is machine ground, that will be much better. I'm only making a few fritas, and the rest of the meat is going to go to some stuffed steak or bistec relleno, so I don't mind if it's a little chunky. Fritas cubanas are normally formed into meatballs and allowed to rest in the fridge for about a half an hour to an hour before frying. Once in the pan, actually the flat top, they get smashed with a large spatula, one that doesn't have holes like this one. In fact, putting the balls into a piece of wax paper, folding it over and smashing it with a plate seems to work best for me. But I am freshly out of wax paper and all my spatulas have holes. I am telling you, this is one of those videos that should have been deleted and started from scratch. On my stove, the Cuban Frita was done in about 3 minutes on the medium heat or setting number 5. The trigger point is the caramelization around it that tells you it is time to flip. And yes, a large spatula will also work better, but it is what it is, and I insist in making Cuban Fritas today whether I'm ready or not. Once you have successfully flipped a patty, deposit a handful of onions on top, cover it with sauce, and allow it to cook for another 3 minutes. After 3 minutes or so, get ready to plate. The Frita Cubana is normally served in a hard bun that resembles a round Cuban bread, and this is what this is. They are served with a mountain of julienne fries over them and a healthy dose of ketchup. I'm often criticized for not tasting my food, and on this instant, I forgot the camera was rolling. Not only that, I didn't even take a pic for the thumbnail. Oh well, I guess I have to make another one. This video was a mess and full of little mistakes, but nothing is perfect in the kitchen. And despite that, the Cuban Frita was awesome. Folks, my name is JC, coming to you from the Redneck Cuban Kitchen. I would love to see you next week.